We know we have a light within us, inside us, where there's love and passion for life. But how do you find it? How do you strengthen that flame? You know what the first step is? Know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, what are you going to be happy about? If you're expecting somebody else out there to applaud for you, don't wait for that. You applaud yourself. I want you to imagine a screen, okay? And your life is on the screen. What would you like to see on that screen? Do you want peace? You know, one of those movies that is all lovey-dovey, you know? Or you want drama? You're the one who's writing the script. Do you need to change the setting? Is it dark in there? Is it black and white? You need to identify what truly makes you happy so you can really make a tremendous movie of your life. And do you know you can do it? You're going to project what you have inside. If you are dry inside, that's going to be a dry movie. Okay? What do you enjoy doing in life? Some husbands like golfing. What do you want in life? Some people like boating. Some people like sewing. Some people like trusting children with the best knowledge possible. I was doing a seminar, I think it was in New York, and we had a group of people, and I was just checking with people as to what do they love to do in life. What is their passion? And this old lady put her hand up and said, I love to sew. Very much like some people here. And I said, well, what do you do for a living? He said, oh, I work in a factory. I'm the best. And you know what? That woman showed me that she really loved to sew, and she was very happy with her work. Is what you wish to have in that screen the true reflection of how you want your life to be? Or is it a reflection of what your parents wanted you to be? Remember that many of us have done things to please those that are important in our lives. It could be your parents, it could be your uncle, your grandparent, for different reasons. But is what you want in your life, is that the reflection or is somebody else's? And just like food needs flavor, salsa, you need to put some zest into your life. Are you living your life without a good taste? Is bland your life? What makes you get out of bed with energy? And don't tell me your husband before he wakes up, okay? No. When was the last time you did something with passion? And yeah, I know, sex, okay. But there are other things too. And every second of your life, you're going to make decisions. Are those decisions that you make going to be done half-heartedly? Or that decision is going to be like somebody told you to do something and you do it? You got to be the owner of your own decisions. You have to find the energy inside of you. You have to find your passion. You have to find, your truth. What is your truth? What is your truth? It could be different than hers. It could be different than mine, but it is your truth. Now we're going into, let's check and see how we know each other. If I tell you that everyone in here has layers of fat, you will think, oh, those extra pounds, I didn't hit the gym. That's your first thought, right? Now, I want you to look at your life like Anthony DeMello taught me. And he's a mysticist, and he has written many books. And he talked about the fat that slows you down in the journey of your life. Those layers of fat act like weeds in a garden. They don't let you find that flame that I was talking about. Before we plant our garden, don't we clean it? Remove the weeds? When we start a trip, are you going to go with a heavy trunk filled with clothes, or are you going to be light? The second step is that there are several layers that hold us down. Let's go into those layers of fat. The first one is your beliefs. Yeah, beliefs like your culture, your religion, just your environment. If we go on into the ideas, ideas is something that you grow up with and you start seeing how your parents react in life and the anger in the family, and you really think that that's life. You really think that that anger that you saw at home is how life is. That slows you down. The third layer are your habits. We know we have good habits like eating, healthy foods, bad habits, addiction, of course. And there are other bad habits, like obsessed with money, like people that work, and never have time to be together. And then after they have bought a beautiful home or have the best car that they can have, they end up without a family because they were so obsessed with the material things in life that they didn't enjoy life with their kids and their wives. And I have received many callers in my show that describe exactly that. So these are the things that we have to question. There is a distorted view of reality when you do that. You don't see the wonderful things that you really have already. Don't run through life. I've learned that. This journey is not a marathon. It is a walk. So you can actually recognize those who walk beside you, who are really saying, I can talk to you. May I say this to you? But you don't pay attention. Those tourist guides that we already talked about. Look around you. Appreciate those. Appreciate what you have. The next layer of fat is the attachments and the fears. That is where the ego is king. You know that little thing that we have inside? I don't know if you remember. One was the little angel and then the little devil here. And the little devil is your ego. He knows your weaknesses. If he doesn't know your weaknesses, he's going to create weaknesses. He's going to tell you, don't do that because you're not capable. He'll remind you what Aunt Julia told you when you were 5. That kid is after no good. That's the ego. That's the one that plays with you. Don't fall into that game. The ego generates many times doubts and anxiety. If you believe that nothing is possible, that's an illusion created by the ego. It keeps you from being happy. You become emotionally attached to things or people in a very compulsive way. For example, if she cannot be with me, I'm not going to be happy. If he is not going to marry me, I will die. First of all, you know that that's a lie. If I don't have the German car, I will not show that I'm successful. Who told you that? You are in an emotional prison. There's no peace when you do that. There are really two emotions that we have: love and fear. Love are the positive emotions that fill us with energy. And later we'll talk about those, the word love. Fear, there are reasonable fears, like the one you saw. If I have to come down from steps, I'm going to be a little fearful because I have a reality check. I do break. Okay? But if you're always afraid of something, like losing your job, if you're always in a constant state of fear, that is not reasonable. I have people that call my show that never leave the house. I'm sure that nobody's like that here, otherwise you wouldn't be here. There are people that are so afraid of driving because they think that every car is going to be crashing onto them. That is unreasonable. You lost your job and you get petrified. You get stuck. You can't even think. Why? Because the thought that your Aunt Julia said that you will never amount to anything keeps you here. That's irrational. Those irrational fears is caused by the circumstance that you have in the present and the ideas from the past. You know how teenagers always question everything? But Mom, why? No, you can't go there. Why? I want you to be like adolescents. Question it. Question your beliefs, your ideas, your fears. You need to question them. Where are they coming from? Why do I think a certain way? Which beliefs are rooted in reality? Which of them are not? Which beliefs permit me to grow and which do not? Now let's deal with emotions. We have already talked about fear, but there are other emotions that we experience every day. And I think a lot of us go through that roller coaster, of emotions. Happy, sad, angry, frustrated, go back again. Life is difficult. Yeah, we know. Okay. But emotions play an important role in our lives. For instance, they can be nutrients in that garden, like they can be nutrients here for us if they happen to come from love. But it can also be like toxic, like poison. How do we handle our emotions so that they don't weigh down our journey? That's the third step. Let's talk about the emotions that are more prevalent in our lives right now. Anger, resentment. We live such a fast life that we try to do work that probably would take 2 days. We want to do it in 24 hours. We do that a lot. And what happens? That brings you frustration and brings you anger, makes you inflexible. You go home and your wife says, "Hi, honey, how things?" "Don't talk to me now." That's anger, okay? And that anger is caused by stress. But I also want you to realize something. Anger is a funny thing, or not so much. The person who explodes and shows the anger, why is that person doing that? Is it because he enjoys the anger? Does it do something physically to him? Or is it that he's getting something out of it? You shout enough, the other one's, I'm not going to. Manipulation. Anger can be a very manipulative tool. Stress, which comes because of your doing so much, and it's probably one of the main factors that cause anxiety and health problems. Doubts and negative thoughts that take away your life, because whenever you are anxious or angry or frustrated, you feel like, I can't handle this anymore. How do you think that flame is? Down. And I want you to know that the worst enemy to your body is not the germs, it's not the bacteria. It's those negative thoughts that you say to yourself. "Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this today because of this and that. He doesn't love me. She doesn't love me. The kids don't love me." You have all this conversation with you, this monologue with you. To fight the stress, you have to figure out where it is. Why do I feel this way? What is it that I don't want to face? If you don't face whatever is causing your stress, you will not find the answer. What is causing my stress? Is it at work? Is it in my personal life? Is it within myself? Or it could be both. You have to identify your priorities in order to know what you're going to do with your stress. You have to plan accordingly and then act. Remove those negative emotions, the negative thoughts. Minimize your layers of fat and find what gives you passion. And all of this can be said, it's in your attitude. And remember what I said about Albert Einstein. Either everything is a miracle or nothing is. That way you will gain control of your life, control of your garden. I want to share with you a very special story from people that I consider one of the #1 masters in my life. It's a couple, Alfredo and Mati. These people were like angels or like princes, and when they got married, it was like a wonderful wedding. The two of them love each other like I have never seen a couple love each other. And in the first year, after she's pregnant and has a child, someone comes into her room and the doctor tells her, "You have a son with Down syndrome." These parents couldn't believe it. They locked themselves in their house for a while. I remember the story. Because they needed to face their new reality. They faced their fear. They made the decision after a few months to believe in their son. They chose love. And Alfredito learned to do many things. And I was there when he would help his mother do the clothing, or put the pizza in the oven when he was in 2nd grade, or when he would try to do things, but there was always a smile in Alfredo's face. Always. Never was he sad. He was a unique seed that blossomed. You know why? Hey, those parents took the weeds out. Those parents gave the love that he needed. And not only was the parents, it was a family affair, trust me. I saw the grandparents, the nieces, everybody was working with Alfredo. But one day, I was walking down the street with Matty in a mall, and Alfredo was there with us, Alfredito. And some kids came by. And you know how kids can be cruel sometimes. They started making fun of him. I was ready to kill. But Matty is a much more controlled woman than I am. And I respected her space. So we went inside the car, and I remember seeing Matty with tears rolling down her cheeks. But that little boy put his hand on his mother and said, "Mom, don't cry. I am not crying." Alfredo's flame is very strong. For him, every day is a miracle. Alfredito has 2 jobs. He is a miracle. You can make your life a miracle. Go ahead. Do that. I love you, Alfredito.